So in a moment, we'll get to this prayer. This is a prayer that's going around on the internet. Everyone get it over there. It's in English. So we're talking, yesterday we talked about the topic of gratitude. And today we're talking about that also because it's Thanksgiving. So we want to talk about how to give thanks from a Jewish perspective. Yesterday we talked about obstacles to expressing gratitude. One of them was habituation, the fact that we get used to things and we become accustomed to them, and that withholds us from expressing gratitude. Another one was, we called it responsibility bias. And the idea is that we often take more responsibility for things that happen to us than what really is the case. Like you're on the job and you think that I did this whole project by myself, when really a lot of people contributed to the success of the project. And so we discussed those two obstacles. What I'd like to talk about today is 3 ways to acquire gratitude. And I think they're all couched in the Parsha. So one of them is through subtraction. To think about how things could be if you didn't have what you have. And so that kind of uses you have to use your imagination, or envision where you were a while ago before you attained the things that you have now. And I think that's hinted to in our Parsha on Yaakov is praying to God when Esav is coming towards him. He's afraid. He's praying to God, and he says in chapter 32, verse 11, "Katonti mikol ha'ma'asim, mikol ha'chasadim, mikol ha'emet asher asita et avdecha." I'm humbled by all the good that you did to me. He says, why is that? Because with my staff I crossed this Jordan. Now I have become 2 camps. The idea is like I had nothing when I came here, and now I have all this blessing. And so the way to do this is you can kind of think in your life, think about the things that you have, and maybe envision what it would be like without them. So you have a roof over your head. You can envision what it would be like to be without a roof over your head. But you don't have to get that basic. You can just think about different pleasures or good things that you have. You have you always have heat in your house. You have food that you like. You have access to things whenever you need them. You can think about what it would be like without that. And another way to go about acquiring gratitude on this front would be try to place yourself around situations with people who have less than you. That's definitely a way to increase your gratitude. And that's also, and you could be doing a mitzvah at the same time. And I shared that at a certain point I worked in jails in New York, and I remember every time when I left the jail, I felt so grateful for the things I had, and just for the most basic thing, which is freedom. And so that's a way to acquire gratitude from subtraction. Another way to acquire gratitude, a second way, would be, it's based on chapter 33, verse 11. It was Yaakov says to Esav, I have everything. Yaakov didn't have everything. He wasn't the king of the world. He didn't have the newest car. Maybe he did, like the equivalent of that at that time. I don't know. But he said, I have everything. And the idea is not just the things, don't think about what you could, subtract, rather, everything that you have, try to be grateful for it. Think about all the wonderful things we have and like what they do for us. And so that's kind of being grateful and being, you might not have everything, but what you have, being grateful. Who is rich? The person who is happy with their lot. Try to be happy with the things that you have. And a way to do this, which it's a popular way in like New Age circles and just on the internet, I saw people discussing this. You can create for yourself a gratitude journal. Heard about that before? So one basic way to do it without that is, say you're driving in your car, okay? Just say out loud. It'll look kind of weird maybe, or if people think you're on the phone, just say out loud, I'm grateful for this. I am grateful for my clothing. I am grateful for the fact that I can walk. I'm grateful for the fact that I can see. There's already 3. Name 5 of them. One day. Don't do it every day. Do it one day in your car, maybe tonight. Name a few things that you're grateful for. That already can boost your gratitude. Now, doing it verbally is one thing, but writing it down, they say, has an even stronger effect. And so this is where the gratitude journal comes in. And there are a few rules I saw for a successful gratitude journal experience. One of them is to not overdo it. So they said, do it right in your journal. Take a journal. You don't have to get a fancy journal. You don't have to get a fancy pen. You don't have to worry about your grammar. Just get whatever you have, even a piece of paper, and don't overdo it either. So write down maybe once a week 5 things that you're grateful for. And do it once a week. Maybe Motzei Shabbos. When Shabbos ends, write down a few things that you're grateful for every week. You'll see it accumulate. And we talked about there are a lot of health benefits to being grateful. So that's another thing. You can list things that were surprises for you. So things that surprised you, because oftentimes we associate a lot of happiness and energy with around things that surprised us. Maybe somebody brought you something out of the blue that made you really happy, and that brought you some gratitude, and you can have some gratitude for that. And also, you can do it in the beginning of the day, the end of the day. It doesn't matter when. It's important that you try to do it. So that's a way to cultivate gratitude for the things that you have. And the last thing is near the end of the parsha, Yaakov thanks God for taking care of him on this journey, and he builds an altar to God. And that's another way to become grateful, is to notice, we talked about, to share the responsibility with those around us, especially God. And to say, I didn't do this on my own. God did these things for me. And you can kind of think about all kinds of ways that God has helped you and brought you to where you are today, and things that you've been through, and how it could have gone differently if things didn't go down the path that they went. And so those are 3 ways. And this last piece, where we're recognizing God and thinking about how God works in every area, I think it's connected to this prayer here. Now, this is called a prayer of thanks. It's translated from the original Hebrew to English. Now, ask me who wrote the prayer. It's not so clear. I was looking around the internet to figure out who wrote it. It seems like a lot of people say it's Harabbanit Leah Cook. She's a Rabbanit in Israel, and she's big into bringing people closer to Judaism. So she wrote it in Hebrew, and it seems like people find this a helpful prayer. But you can really find your own type of prayer of thanks to God. You could just say, Hashem, thank you for all your blessings. Thank you for taking care of me. You could just follow in Yaakov's way. You can take a verse of Tehillim, a capital of Tehillim. You could do it with the prayers in the prayer book. So all kinds of different ways. This is one way. Just want to model for you one way to do it. So if you find this helpful for you, good. There are some pieces where some people might feel comfortable, might not, but I just want to read it to you. It seems like people found this helpful. So if you want to read it together with me, or if you want to I'll read it out loud. Thank you, Hashem, King of Kings, and Master of the world. Thank you for the infinite times that you helped me, supported me, rescued me, encouraged me, cured me, guarded over me, and made me happy. Thank you for always being with me. Thank you for giving me the strength to observe your commandments, to do good deeds, and pray. Thank you for all the times you helped me and I didn't know how to say thank you. Thank you for all the loving kindnesses you do for me each and every moment. Thank you for every breath I breathe. That you always have. As long as we're saying this prayer, we're breathing. It's already something you can thank God for. All right. Thank you, Hashem, for all the things that I do have, and thank you even for the things that I don't have. Thank you for my periodic difficulties, my occasional setbacks, and for the times when I don't feel happy, because everything is for my ultimate benefit, even if I don't see that it's always for my best. Deep in my heart, I know that everything that comes from you is for the very best for me and designed especially for me in precision and exacting divine providence, of which only the King of Kings is capable. Thank you for the periodic times that are difficult for me, for only that way they enable me to fully appreciate the good times. For only after being in darkness one can appreciate the light. Thank you for the wonderful life you have given me. Thank you for every little thing that I have, for everything comes from you and from no one else. Thank you for always listening to my prayers. Creator of the world, I apologize from the bottom of my heart for all the times that I didn't appreciate what you gave me, and instead of thanking you, I only complained. I am dust and ashes, and you are in the entire universe. Please don't ever cast me away. So there's a lot packed into there. And you could take pieces that you like, that you connect to, or you could find your own way to do it. But these are 3 different ways to cultivate a gratitude. One is to think about how things would be without the things that you have, and maybe be around people who have less than you. And from there, you can cultivate gratitude. Another one is to really be happy and grateful for the things that you have, and you could do that maybe through verbally or through a journal. And lastly is to bring God into the picture and recognize all the wonderful things that God has done for you. And a way to do that could be through prayer. This is a possible format, but you can find your own. And so maybe I'll grow in gratitude, especially on this holiday of Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for. And with that, we'll recite Rabbi's Kaddish.